Commissioner Fernandez is absent. Commissioner Hunneman is absent. Commissioner Colby?
Here.
Vice Chair Gilliland?
Here.
Chair Parker?
Here.
Let the record reflect all commissioners are present with the exception of Commissioner Fernandez and Commissioner Hunneman with excused absence.
Okay, I'd like us to all stand, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Gilliland to lead us in the pledge.
Ready? Again. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioners, I'm going to ask for an approval of the agenda, but I've been advised that we have an addition to the agenda, and we're going to have an update from the Youth Advisory Committee, and we need a motion to change the agenda?
Yes.
And add that to the agenda. We have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Commissioners, on your touchpad, please.
You got it up there, Chris? There we go. Okay. So we've had a motion and a second, and now we need to vote to approve the agenda.
To amend and approve the agenda.
To amend and approve the agenda. So if we can do that now. We good? Okay.
Motion carries unanimously, 3-0.
Okay. Well, we are going to put the Youth Advisory Committee on top of our agenda, and we have a situation where we're going to rotate Youth Advisory members, and we're going to start today with Jasmine. Jasmine, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and give your report?
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm your president for the YAC, or the Youth Advisory Committee. I go to school at Murrieta Mesa High School, and the Youth Advisory Committee recently had held their second meeting of the year. During the meetings, members discussed upcoming community events and opportunities to stay involved throughout the fall and winter seasons. So far, our committee officers are Freya for secretary, William for treasurer, and Nayani for vice president, and myself for president. The YAC participated in Murrieta Trunk or Treat event, where they hosted a booth where the theme was Alice in Wonderland. The members helped decorated the trunk, dressed in character, and handed out candy to families throughout the event. In addition, the YAC members volunteered at the Youth Center Halloween party, helping with games, activities, and setup to make the event fun and memorable for participants. Looking ahead, YAC members are excited to continue supporting community programs and events in upcoming months. November 19th is the Youth Center 12th birthday party. December 2nd is Sensory Santa, and December 6th is the Festival of Trees. The Youth Advisory Committee continues to grow as young leaders developing teamwork, responsibilities, and communication skills while making a positive impact in the community.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Jasmine, what's your last name?
Frick. Frick.
Frick, okay, good. Good to have you here. And as part of the Youth Advisory Committee, we have the other two students who will be rotating in, and I'm wondering if the two of you would take a moment to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Hi, my name is Freya Dangy. I'm an 8th grader at Thompson Middle School. And I decided to volunteer because I really want to help give back to the community.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Freya.
Hello, I'm Jarrell. I'm 11th grade student at Murrieta Mesa. I joined the committee because I had to do community service hours and I wanted to complete it in a way that uplifts my community. So,
Good.
Yep. That's all I
Okay.
got.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and we look forward to hearing from the two of you at our future meetings. Okay.
So I know it is a school night, and if you're welcome to stay, but if you need to get back home for homework or other things that you need to accomplish, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
Spoken like a true mom.
Bye, thank you.
Administrative update is the opportunity for the Parks and Community Services Manager, Leah Kollick, to provide community updates as well as department or commission announcements on current or upcoming events. Leah?
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. This evening, I'm happy to bring up to the dais Code Enforcement Manager Nolan Barrentas and Parks Maintenance Supervisor Josh Havens, and they're going to provide a report on graffiti removal, public versus private.
Good evening. My name is Nolan Barrentas. I'm the Code Enforcement Manager here at the City of Murrieta. And this is Josh Havens next to me here. So, all right, what we have for you tonight is just a quick recap of what we do on code enforcement related activities when it comes to graffiti. There's a couple different varieties of complaints that we get, and they end up either in my ballpark for code enforcement or they end up with Josh's crew. The objective for the Code Enforcement Department is really just to make the community members and the business owners and property owners aware of those requirements. There's a much longer statement up there, but I won't go into detail. You guys can read that at your leisure. But we have established codes that deal with graffiti, and our job is to make them aware of what they need to do to correct it and then get them to do that in a timely manner. Right here we have our complaint process on the screenshot and then the photos there. The screenshot is what our online complaint form looks like when somebody goes onto the code enforcement website and clicks the link, which is included on the right side there in the blueprint. We also take complaints through phone calls into our main line. Anybody can walk into City Hall in normal business hours and give that information to us. We'll take that, process it by our office assistants, and then we'll get it assigned to a code enforcement officer. The Murrieta Fix-It app also has an opportunity for those to be reported and sent over to us. When we get complaints, it's extremely helpful for us, especially when it comes to graffiti, to have a photograph of where it's located. Helps us track it down a lot easier and then give that direction to the person that's responsible for that. Initially, our staff is going to research the location that's reported, make a determination whether it's public or private property, or it's city-owned, and then we'll assign it to if it's code enforcement related, if it's private property, then we'll assign it to the code enforcement officer. We have 6 code enforcement officers in the community. The city's set up into 3 different areas. That's how we have it set up geographically. So we have 2 officers in each area. So if there's one of those officers that are out, then we have a second person that's a backup that'll respond to these complaints when the other person's out. If it ends up being on city-owned property, then we refer that over to Josh's department, and then they take that. If it's through the Murrieta Fix-It app, it's pretty easy for us to do that. We just reassign the complaint, and then they get the information almost immediately. Sometimes we run into situations where it's on an Edison box, so that could be on private property, but that's obviously owned by Edison. We don't require the property owner to deal with that. We have a contact line that we reach out to Edison, and then we give them the information of where it is and give them the details on the number of the box and things like that, and then they start the process to address that. So it's usually a pretty quick turnaround time for that. Back to the part, if it's on private property, once the staff assigns it, it gets over to the code enforcement officer. That usually takes within a day or two at the most. And then the code enforcement officer gets ready to go out to the location to address that and start the process for issuing the notices once we determine the violation exists. They'll do their inspection. They'll issue the notice. You can see the Murrieta Code Enforcement Courtesy Notice right there. That's our initial notice that we give to property owners when we have them. If it's an off-site property owner, then we have a letter that we generate that we will send out, which is your first warning on the right-hand side there. Those are examples of what our first 2 notices look like. If we don't get compliance after something like that, we can escalate to final notices and administrative citations. Anytime there's a violation of our city code, the first offense is a $100 fine for every violation that exists. Second citation that's issued, it goes to $200, and then the third one goes to $500, and then any citations after that would be $500 also. Here's some examples of a few different locations we've had in the recent past of conditions where there was graffiti and what it looked like after. So on the left-hand side there, you can see the red graffiti in the white area on that building. And then after we contacted them, they addressed the issue, they cleaned that up. Middle pictures there, back of the, I think that's the Aldi building over on Murrieta Hot Springs and near Winchester. And then one of the new developments had some graffiti on one of the walls within the last few months, and we got a hold of the developer and the contractor to address that. So that was the end result there on the bottom right. Go ahead and pass this information over to Josh.
All right, so if it is determined that it's city infrastructure that has the graffiti on it, it's going to get passed over to park maintenance. These are some of our areas of responsibility. It's not really just restricted to parks. Obviously, parks and any infrastructure within those, unless it belongs to, SoCal Edison or something like that, we'll take care of it. We also will take care of it on city-maintained head walls and drainage culverts. Sometimes there's some confusion on these. We have a lot of drainage areas that run through the city that aren't actually maintained by the city. So if we have something come our way that belongs to a different agency, we'll forward it on to them. Shared walls along main thoroughfares. This is one that gets a little confusing too. Homeowners are ultimately responsible for the structural integrity of those walls, but because they face main thoroughfares, generally we'll go out and take care of the graffiti so we can get it down quicker than a private property owner usually would be able to. And then other city infrastructure throughout the city and regulatory signs. We'll make an attempt to remove the graffiti. If the sign's damaged, we'll hand that over to our streets department and they'll do a replacement of the signs. This year so far, usually we average around 300 tags per year that we cover up. We're at 219 right now, so we're trending a little low, but winter break's coming up. So we may see an increase in those along winter break. And these are usually broken up almost exactly 50-50 between tags we're going to see in parks and then stuff we're going to see kind of out in the rest of the city. These are some of the methods of removal that we use. Generally, we're going to go from the least aggressive to the most aggressive. Ultimately, our goal is that when we leave, you'll never be able to tell that there was a tag there in the first place. So we use graffiti remover a lot. You can see the bottom picture, that's our pressure washer / sandblaster truck. That'll take off just about anything, including like pieces of concrete and wall and whatever. So if we need something super aggressive, we have that. An airless sprayer is something we just added to our arsenal to kind of reduce cost of having contractors come out and paint large areas. And then surface specific paints. So this is going to be specific to concrete or asphalt. Generally, there's additives in those paints so that over time they'll blend in with the surface and you won't know that it was ever there. And then your regular spray paints and rollers and brushes that you normally see. So that's it for us. You guys have any questions?
Commissioners, any questions? I've got some. So the anticipation on, first of all, the percentage of the complaints that are on private property versus city property, what's the breakdown that way? Do you know?
I'm not sure what that would be. We could probably pull those stats and see.
But I mean, would you take a stab at it?
I would say the majority of it is on city property, probably like
Okay.
70%
Okay.
city property. I think just because it's so easily accessible compared to a private residence, like you go into a park at night, no one's there, you can tag it up and
Yeah,
you're probably not
yeah.
going to get caught.
When it's on private property and we start the process, I couldn't read the stuff on the screen. What's our anticipation as far as the timeline to get it cleaned up, or what's code say about it?
So from a code enforcement perspective, we typically give them a couple days to a week, depending on what notice we have to send. So if we meet somebody in person, we give them notice, we're going to give them a couple days. We might give them 3 days to get it resolved, because we understand they have to gather the resources to do that. They may have to hire somebody, or they may have to get a handyman or somebody, somebody who has the ability to deal with it. So we advise them, we want you to take care of this as quickly as we possibly can. But again, we need to give them a reasonable amount of time frame to gather the resources to do that. If we're mailing a notice, it's probably going to be a little bit longer. It might be 5 to 7 days, because we've got to allow for time for the mail to get there. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for us to escalate to the next notice of violation before that first notice ever got to the person that's there. So we kind of factor that in with all of our notices and our enforcement practice. We also take steps to try and reach out to somebody. We're always trying to find a phone number or an email address so we can get that information to them much quicker than if we just send it in the mail and let it sit.
So once we make contact and go through that part of the process, how long normally until we would generate the code enforcement, the fine, the second go
So
around?
we're typically going to work through multiple notices to get to that. So we're going to go at least 2 notices. We're not going to go straight to an administrative fine unless somebody looks at us and goes, no, pound sand, we're not going to do that.
Right.
So then we would say, okay, here's your notice, here's your second notice. And
So we work with them.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And on the city side, it sounds like we get right on top of it when we're notified.
Our goal is within 24 hours. That's
Yeah.
how quickly we would like to get out there. We'll also work with code too. If we have stuff that, is on offense and it's super vulgar or offensive, especially if it's near like a school or something like that, we'll get on it, and sometimes we'll go over and do some abatement in the meantime while we
Yeah.
wait for the homeowner, for that's something that's going to take them a while.
Get it out of the way quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, both of you, we thank you very much for coming in and talking to us, and appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Have a great night.
Did you have anything?
All right, yeah. Next, I would like to invite up Park Ranger Melissa Price, who will provide the annual Park Ranger report update.
Good evening, Commissioners. So I'm Melissa Price, one of the park rangers. Just a quick brief of what exactly we do and who we are. So we as park rangers patrol all 53 parks in Murrieta, and we enforce city municipal codes, report maintenance issues, check for any unsafe conditions, keep and report daily interactions and incidents that happen within the park. And as park rangers, we also provide customer service to the public, ensuring the well-being of park visitors and address any concerns or questions they might have. We provide educational and interpretive programs and assist in city events. So for the past year, from October to current November, we have visited the parks 16,676 times, have written 35 citations, and have given 1,731 verbal warnings to the public. A majority of the warnings are dogs off leash, and that was 319 of them, and that's for dogs off leash that we've only seen once. On a second occurrence, they will get a citation. They won't get a warning. And 806 of those verbal warnings were also for people caught in the park after dark. The remainder of the warnings come from skateboards, safety issues and concerns, e-bikes, when we can actually talk to them and they don't drive away from us, parking in red zones, and any vehicles that we catch in the parks after hours. We had a ranger wrap back in March, of this past year. It was our biggest one. We had a total of 45 participants at Copper Canyon Park. The kids enjoyed it. We had Triple L Reptile come out and do a hands-on with the kids. They did a craft and they got some snacks and color pages to do. We'll be having one later on this month on the November 22nd at Alderwood Park. It's going to be a moon and stargazing, and we're going to have s'mores and whatnot for the kids. Some city events and outreach that we participated in was Dark in the Park, Point in Time Count, that is the homeless count in January, along with the PD and Riverside County. We attended we were invited to attend the Murrieta Mesa Career Day within the city and the other adjoining high schools. They participated. Father's Day Car Show, the Birthday Bash, and the Veterans Day Parade. So right now our current focus is Cal Oak Sports Park. We work together with PD and the maintenance to report graffiti and any vandalism in the park. We're doing extra patrols and keeping a detailed log. And extra patrols mean we patrol prior to school starting, during school, as usual, after school until about 4 o'clock. And then before the end of our night shift, we check the conditions of the bathrooms. If we need to lock them, we lock them. So we've been spending a lot of extra time at Cal Oaks to try and pinpoint where and when the graffiti and vandalism happens. Any maintenance issues, we submit them so that they can go ahead and repair as quick as they can, any repairs at the park. Some of our ongoing concerns are the dogs off leash at Los Alamos Sports Park in the morning hours, e-bikes, illegal dumping in the park, particularly from certain residents that like to dump their trash at the park. Vendors in the park, specifically at Los Alamos, we've been having an uptick of vendors being caught and noticed there during sports events, and any organized activity without a permit. Some of our current projects that we're doing right now are the Ranger Manual, which is a guide and resource for new and existing park rangers for duties, protocols, public engagement, and park ranger responsibilities. And we're helping to update the City Parks Municipal Code to revise and update the municipal codes where needed to reflect current and future challenges. Some of our future projects that we hope to achieve are restarting the Junior Ranger program, more community outreach within the parks, possibly extra ranger wraps or meet and greet with the rangers, something informal, and any additional park ranger skill training. And do you commissioners have any questions?
Commissioners?
Melissa, thank you for being here. Thank you for the presentation. Questions on graffiti and vandalism at Cal Oak Sports Park. Is this Chavela driven, or is it?
We suspect that a majority of it probably comes from Chavela. It's happening after school, but we can't say for a fact that it is them. It really could be anybody. A lot of times it's after hours, after we've already left our shift at 10 p.m. and happens between late at night and early morning. So we can't just say it's only Chavela. It's probably a combination.
Okay. And I was going to suggest if the majority of it is suspected to be Chavela, have you talked to the administrative leadership at Chavela?
Like I said, we do. The SRO officer, along with PD, they've talked to certain students concerning it. But again, we can't say this exact person, that exact person. They have certain students that go to the school that do truancy and cause issues, so we are aware of that. But to say that a particular group of kids or adults are doing it, we can't.
Okay.
Commissioner Gilliland?
I suspect you're excited for the flock cameras that installed.
They will help. They will help exactly to give us a time frame as to when things happen, and hopefully we can catch somebody.
Sorry, Paul's picking on me. My second question was I obviously don't remember last year's stats. Do you feel like there's more citations and warnings this year?
They're about the same or a little less. We can get you the stats for last year if you like, but they're equally about the same. We know that there's always a rise in graffiti during vacation, like spring, summer, and of course, Christmas vacation, they're out.
And then just from past history of where I've come from, I would suspect you work with law enforcement for like some of the graffiti to try to mitigate who's tagging and that.
Yes, we do report it to PD. A lot of times the officer will come out, do a report, we get the report number, and then we pass it along to maintenance.
And that's why I think, when he mentioned to get a picture, that's part of why that's so critical, is to get that picture so it can go to the appropriate people. So thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Thanks a lot for being here. I've got a few questions. Going back to Cal Oaks, over, this seems like a couple of years that the problems there have ramped up, and we've made some juvenile arrests or gotten some parents to pay for repairs there?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay.
I believe there's been 2 instances of juvenile arrests with reimbursable, where the youth has to reimburse the city for the damage that they caused.
Right. And whether it's your bailiwick or not, we were going to put up some additional cameras there?
That will be a report in two.
Okay.
Next one.
What does the Junior Ranger program look like if you are reconstituted?
So the Junior Ranger program prior, we got a group of kids in a certain age range, and they would come to regular meetings, maybe once a month or twice a month, whenever they were available, and we would do different activities with them. We did trail walking, trail hike. It was just hard to, one, there was only 2 of us, and second, soccer, extracurricular sports and activities got in the way a lot of times, so we had to.
Did COVID kill it?
No, this was way prior. Prior to COVID, yes.
I spend a lot of time at Cal Oaks watching little girl softball, and I'm seeing vendors, carts. Are those approved sometimes?
So sometimes the league does have.
This isn't that, though, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
No, those are not approved vendors.
Okay.
When they're not invited by the league.
Okay. And on e-bikes, it's kind of a personal vendetta. That's the wrong word for me to use. Is there anything we can do to curtail it? Again, I live across from Cal Oaks, so I not only see it there, but I see them ripping down Cal Oaks without helmets. They're not supposed to be in the parks at all. They're continuously in the parks, but nothing.
I mean, we try our best to stop them. They don't stop for us. Because we're there before school and after school, there is a certain group of kids that are consistently there every single day. They hang out at the park. So we watch them. We tell them they can't use their e-bike. Some of them listen, some of them don't, and we do our best. So.
Okay. See if I got anything else. Okay. That's all I've got. Thank you very much for coming in.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Melissa, question just so I can compartmentalize this for myself. At any given time, how many officers are out patrolling?
So Wednesday is the only day where all 3 rangers are on duty at the same time. So you have 3 rangers from about 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock where we're overlapping. On a regular day like Tuesday, it's only 2 of us. Same with Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday and Monday, there's only 1 ranger on duty from 11 to 10.
Are we down? Did we have 4 rangers?
We've never had 4 rangers. We've always had 1 and 2, and so this is the most that we've had is 3.
Okay.
So we try and make the best that we can with the time when we have working to get around.
Go ahead.
So just a question on the staffing and the hours. From a usage standpoint, aren't the weekends the highest usage time in the parks?
They are for sports, yes. The parks are busy every single day. It doesn't really matter, but for sports, yes, they are a lot busier.
Okay.
So we supplement our ranger program with park monitors as well. So there's, I believe, I'd have to double check with Victor, but I believe there's 3 park monitors that we rotate through to help assist on the times that we do not have park rangers.
Great.
Employees of the city or volunteers?
They are employees of the city.
Okay.
And the hours, you said dark at 10 p.m., but what time in the morning do rangers start?
6 a.m.
Okay. Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's not Melissa, it's Malicia?
Melissa.
Melissa. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on. Next up, I would like to invite Recreation Supervisor Victor Patino, who will present a summary of the 2025 aquatics season for the commissioners.
All right. All right, good evening, commissioners. I'm here today to provide an aquatics review or oversee just what happened this 2025 season. Okay, so as you know, and I've said multiple times, following the closure of Cal Oaks Sports Park Pool, the city of Murrieta successfully transitioned its summer aquatics program over to Murrieta Vista High School through a continued partnership with the Murrieta Valley Unified School District. I do want to take a moment to shout out the Unified School District team, Deputy Superintendent Darren Daniels, his team, facility managers Jose Contreras, and Deputy Superintendent Secretary Tammy Segal. They've been instrumental in helping us, navigate through the transition over at Vista. And also all of the janitorial staff out at Vista Murrieta, they helped us run a smooth program this year. So I definitely want to give them their kudos. Our program did run from June 7th through September 28th, Saturday to Tuesday, offering swimming lessons, public swim, and lap swim opportunities for all residents of all ages. We did have our vendor, Swan Aquatics, provide the lifeguarding and instructor services, which is the swimming lessons portion of that. And shout out to their team also. I do want to share, which is kind of my pride and joy this season. I do want to give you kind of an overview of our analytics. On the left side, you will see 22, which is our last season that we conducted aquatics programs out of Cal Oaks. And then you'll see 2025, which is Vista, and 2024, which is Vista. So you can see throughout all programming, sales of passes, excluding water exercise, and I'll go a little bit into that. We've seen a dramatic increase in our programming. I do want to detail that on 2022, we did operate 6 days out of the week out of Cal Oaks, and the last 2 years, we've only had four days to operate, and those numbers do kind of reflect closely to what we used to offer at Cal Oaks. And like I said, that was Saturday to Tuesday. And admissions, like I said, will range between $1 and $5, and our passes are $20 for the season and $40 for non-residents. A couple of things that I want to touch on are things that worked well this season. Program and scheduling, the restructuring schedule was one of the biggest successes. By consolidating our lesson blocks and opening swimming periods, staff could better manage participant flow and lifeguard coverage, creating a safer and more predictable environment for lifeguards. Our marketing and outreach was a lot better this season. We had a social media campaign that increased engagement by promoting registration deadlines, winter and closure updates. We did do A-frames and banners. We went a little bit old school, and we hung out some signage out of the high schools, and that helped increase a lot of awareness about the new location and schedule, because a lot of residents didn't know that we were operating out of the high school, so that brought a little bit of awareness to that. We did see a steady participation across all demographics and an increase in lesson registration by 66% from year to year. So we know that our marketing is working in some effect. We did install a new tub shed on the pool grounds, and that helped us improve not only separating what's equipment from the city and equipment from the school grounds, but it just made it more efficient for opening and closing procedures throughout the season. And again, like I said, this kind of reduced the confusion between what we had before with the swimming coach and things like that. So it just made it a lot more seamless and more effortless and more efficient. A couple things too, we had daily coordination with our city staff in Swan Aquatics that was consistent. We had protocols and coverages, and our lifeguards were very professional and responded with quality and highlighted with multiple participants, giving us kudos with our programming throughout the season. And obviously with any program, there's things that we could improve moving forward. A couple of things, at the beginning, we did have a couple hiccups with registration processes and refunds from our vendor side, but we were able to iron that out with a debrief that we conducted after an aquatics season with our vendor. And we have a plan, improvement plan moving forward for the next season to make sure that these small hiccups don't happen again and we're on the same page moving forward. We also had a couple hiccups with the school district and miscommunication about what times we would open at the beginning of the season, but again, those things will get ironed out with our debrief with the school district here shortly, and just having more communication. Sometimes it is difficult because there's a lot of rotating janitorial staff at the high schools during the summer times, but it's nothing that we couldn't navigate through, and then we'll make sure we improve. And then the third one was more on the safety side. We want to have staffing contingencies. We did have adequate staffing, but we want to make sure that we overhired so we could have enough people in the event. People like to take breaks and vacations during the summer, so we want to make sure we have backup staff, and we'll use the same philosophy for the lifeguards and WSI to make sure that we have backups for the season, so we can have more of a flexible schedule. So yeah, a couple things for our next steps for the 2026 season. We'll continue our partnership with our Swan Aquatics vendor. Like what I was saying, we'll revise our customer and communication expectations, coordinate preseason operations and meetings with the school district so we could get the ball rolling sooner than later so that we could reserve and possibly extend our season from 4 to 6 days so we could provide a more robust season. Expand our early marketing starting maybe as soon as April so that we could advertise that we'll be open and showcase our programming. Hire 2 to 3 staff to be on standby in the case that we need to be a little bit more flexible with our coverage, and then explore an end of season or summer community event, whether it's a movie in the pool or something in that event, so that we could kind of hurrah the whole season towards the end and bring everybody together. So those are some key points, highlights out of the season. We had about 3,300 people visit our programs throughout the season. We're seeing our swimming lessons participation raise all the way to 66%. The Tub Shed was a big plus. It helped us, get organized and efficient out there. Our marketing plan paid off, and we're going to work on top of that and improve it and make it better. We're working and resolving and having communication with issues, but like I said, having communication will resolve those little hiccups, and then just continue our partnership with the school district and just having that relationship there because it's needed because we will be using their pools for the next foreseeable future. So that's my aquatics update. If you guys have any questions.
Any questions, Chris?
Victor, what platforms are you using for marketing?
So we're using anything from Facebook, Instagram. I know that there was some possible, what's the other website for Peach Jar? Yeah, Peach Jar. Okay. There's all multiple avenues. We're putting it on our city website. All those are helping, and also advertising the vendor's website on our website. So for registration. So those are all the avenues that we're using right now.
Thank you.
Yep.
Robin?
I just have a quick question, because my mind goes back to the cost to repair Cal Oaks, obviously. Yep. So the joint use agreement with the district, is there a monetary, you have to pay for use?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering, I would suspect it probably doesn't balance out. You know what I mean? What you're bringing in versus what it costs. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I would say we're about
close?
there. I mean,
close?
I wouldn't
Okay.
say we break even, but I think we're fairly there. We're fairly close.
Which is good. I mean, you know, it's a service that the community
Correct.
has to have. We have to have swimming lessons. You know, we lose too many children each summer already.
Yes.
So I agree it's an important piece. I just was curious, you know, where it was because, you know, sometimes it doesn't make sense,
Correct.
right? Sometimes
Yes.
we need to just fix what we have, but thank you.
All right.
Victor, when it comes to the organization, the third party that we're using for lifeguards, for want of a better, that we've done this company for 2 years now, or 3?
I believe it's 2, yes.
And is that working well?
It's working well. Yeah, I would say as far as operational wise, yeah, they're working well.
Right.
The only, like I said, the hiccups were just some customer service. You know, there are so many hands in the cookie jar. You know, it's just identifying the proper, you know, personnel to direct those concerns, and those were already identified. So I don't foresee those issues happening next season.
Well, I've got to tell you, as we made the transition to using the school, I think kudos to you and your people, because I think it was a big hill to climb, and it sounds like you've done a good job with it. I do want to tell you and Leah and Brian, I'm blessed enough to work with Vice, what does he call himself? Vice Deputy Darren at the school district. I'm on the BB board for oversight of the bond, and this week at the meeting, they really spoke very highly of what all of you are doing, not only with the pool, but their utilization of our parks. I guess we've got a school or two where they actually use our park as a drop-off, but they just, they felt it was unique that the school district and our city could work so closely together, because evidently at some point in the past that was not the case. Okay.
Well,
So
yeah.
thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it. It takes a village, and I give kudos to my team and the aquatics teams that held it down. They make me look good, and Leah and Brian also, you know, they put the highlight on me. So I don't take credit. It takes a village, and it wasn't easy, but we're
Takes
here.
a lot of work to make you look good, Victor.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. You may have noticed a bit of a theme this evening between graffiti, park ranger patrols, and what they're doing at Cal Oak Sports Park, and then, of course, this item that's up before the commission right now relating to the surveillance cameras. So we wanted to try to tie all of these things together so you had a full picture. So with that, tonight, this item going before the commission will detail the flock surveillance cameras to be installed at California Oak Sports Park and Torrey Pines Park. So over the past 18 months, California Oak Sports Park faced persistent vandalism, graffiti, criminal activity, including the arrest of an individual selling controlled substances to students, resulting in costly repairs and safety concerns. Torrey Pines Park, while less affected by vandalism, has seen several incidents involving individuals barricading themselves in the public restroom. So these patterns have created unsafe conditions for staff and visitors, underscoring the need to have proactive measures such as these security cameras. This situation includes over 100 plus incidents of graffiti and vandalism documented, targeting key amenities such as basketball hoops, restrooms, fountains, and trash cans. Over $20,000 in repair costs so far, with spikes in vandalism during the school year. Murrieta Valley Girls Softball Association, MVGSA, has encountered numerous disruptions and has received dozens of parent complaints with concerns that are ongoing damage, and that may deter future registration. There have been encounters with 13 unhoused individuals encountered across California Oak Sports Park and Torrey Pines. One incident involved a person securing themselves inside the public restroom. So Murrieta Police Department also has been very busy in responding to roughly 200 calls to both parks, to both of the parks over this time frame. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, as Melissa had earlier, that our park rangers have been consistently targeting both of these parks for patrols. They've added extra patrols to these parks, and they have stationed themselves near the restroom facilities Monday through Friday when school lets out at Cal Oaks. So our proposed solution, the city has received city council approval to install flock surveillance cameras at both parks to deter the criminal behavior and support law enforcement. The system includes a number of pan-tilt zoom or PTZ cameras for real-time situational awareness, license plate reader or LPR cameras with AI capabilities for vehicle identification and alerts, and static cameras for continuous monitoring of high traffic areas. Most of the cameras will be solar powered and pole mounted with deployment focused on high risk zones. Surveillance will remain strictly within park boundaries. Staff anticipates a number of benefits with the installation of these cameras: crime deterrence through visible monitoring, faster law enforcement response via real-time alerts and searchable footage, reliable evidence collection for investigations and prosecutions, improved safety, staff safety by enabling remote hazard assessment, cost-effective installation by using solar and cellular technology, community reassurance through enhanced safety in public spaces. The total for the first 2 years is $183,350, which will come from our Landscape Lighting District 12, which is Warm Springs for Torrey Pines, and then Measure T unassigned fund balance. And I just wanted to provide a quick shout out to our flock camera task force and graffiti awareness team. That would be Steve Wooden, Matt Schmidt, and John Martin from PD, Brian Crawford and Josh Havens from Municipal Services, John Borger and Mike Amato with IT, our fearless leader, Brian Ambrose, Victor Patino, Lindsay Sisti, and our park rangers, Price, Orozco, and Melendez from CSD. That concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions?
Just one quick question. I don't know this, and I guess I should. We currently have flock that in the city, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is nothing new for
No.
PD and everybody. Got it. I figured we did.
Yeah,
We have it
PD
in
has
all
a
the
number
neighboring
of
cities.
programs.
Yeah. And then, so I think I read, but timing of installation, can you refresh my memory?
Sure. So we made some modifications to the first deployment plan, not major, just a couple of minor tweaks. And that second deployment plan is in plan review right now. It's been in plan review for about 10 days now. So if I don't hear something back on Monday, Tuesday is a holiday, Wednesday at the latest, I plan on reaching out to our Building and Safety Department to find out where it is in plan check. So I'm hoping once plan check is done, obviously they have to procure the cameras. Some of them they have in stock. The PTZ, the pan tilt zoom cameras, are back ordered. We won't see those installed until probably January. So I'm hoping, let's go December 1st.
Or winter break?
Yes.
Is Flock a type of system or the brand?
It is a company called Flock, and their cameras, it's a brand. It is their brand name that they call it. So the company is called Flock, and the cameras are called Flock.
So you've got these tilt zoom cameras. I mean, is the idea that you would have somebody monitoring them full time?
Yes, PD will have those cameras.
Okay.
They'll be PD will have access to those cameras, as will park rangers and our community service department staff, so we can log in and view those at any time. The pan, tilt, zoom cameras, the uniqueness with them is you can pan around, you can zoom in, and you can tilt them up and down, back and forth to get a better picture of kind of what you want to look at. Okay. And then you can schedule them at a different angle for a certain time period, and then they can go back to their regular section of the park that they're normally viewing.
Okay, okay. Recently at Cal Oaks, there was an incident with roof tiles, or?
That was a couple months ago, but yes, they got on the roof and
tossed them down, broke them, or was it, what did that look like?
You're taxing my memory here.
Okay,
so
that's
I'd have
okay.
to look back at the.
I thought it was more recent than that.
No, I think it was a little bit farther back. So most recently have been the damage to the restroom stalls and tearing those things off the hinges, and all the graffiti that you saw in the presentation was fairly recent.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Moving along.
So this will be our last admin update, and really it probably should have been under discussion as we go through this. I'm going to be asking you for some feedback, but it was too late for me to change the agenda. So here we go with an update on the draft volunteer park and trail cleanup guidelines. These guidelines are designed to encourage civic engagement while keeping our volunteers safe and ensuring clear communication with our staff. So we've been having or seeing a growing interest from groups like high school students, church organizations, and school clubs who want to contribute to park and trail cleanups. The draft guidelines provide structure so that volunteer efforts are consistent, safe, and coordinated. The one-time cleanup is typically for just a few hours. The focus would be on locations not already adopted through the department's other programs, Adopt a Trail or Sponsor a Trail. The packet includes a volunteer request form, safety protocols for both parks and trails, and a hold harmless agreement. It also outlines how volunteers should report graffiti or damaged property that they come across. The fiscal impact is minimal. Staff time will be needed to collect and dispose of the debris, but no other additional costs are really anticipated. Key discussion points here, we kind of like your input on a couple of things. Are the age and supervision requirements appropriate? Do the safety guidelines cover everything volunteers need to know? Should we expand the list of volunteer tasks? Is there a preferred way you would like staff to report this information back to the commission? The next steps would be after tonight's discussion, staff will incorporate any feedback that you might have on the final guidelines. Once those are finalized, we'll begin implementing the volunteer program and coordinating with interested groups. This is a great opportunity to strengthen our community involvement in caring for our parks and trails. We will include social media marketing efforts to do this. So in addition to our Adopt a Trail, our Sponsor a Trail, we're looking for these one-time trail and park guidelines to satisfy the increasing requests that we're having in civic and community engagement. And with that, that concludes my report. I'm available for questions.
So, do you have, let's see here, safety guidelines. I guess I may be missing something. So we need to discuss safety guidelines, but is there anything that you're proposing?
No, this is our proposal right here. This is what we believe we've captured everything that we need to capture. But of course, we're hoping to get another set of eyes on it because we see this on a daily basis. I just don't want to miss something that's obvious, that should be included.
Right.
So do we have,
Well, what I'm saying is you're saying to us, do safety guidelines cover everything volunteers need to know? My question is, what are the safety guidelines that we need to look at?
They're in the packet.
Where are we at here? Oh,
They're on page 29 of your agenda packet.
got it. Oh, it's online. It's not here in front of me. There we go. Okay. Okay. Are you seeing it, Chris?
yep. No, I take that back. I'm on my way, I think.
Give us some help over here, please. Maybe it'd be best if we turn off the cameras at this point.
So Leah, 12 years old, if somebody younger
wait.
wanted to though, right, they could?
So where?
Documents.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay, doke.
And then it'll,
We would take that on a case-by-case basis.
figured, yeah, like families
Yes.
and things like that. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we would take that on a but school organizations and so on, we'd probably want to keep it at 12.
Sure. That makes sense.
Is it like a news?
I mean, your safety guidelines, I think, are very complete.
How are you getting this to move up?
Okay,
Can I
thanks.
look at the bottom of it?
Right here,
Okay,
this little thing.
got it. Chris, I think we need to have a class on this. Okay.
Okay, this is going to be a crazy question, but you have to remember my world I work in. Are we addressing needles in the safety guidelines?
That's an excellent question. That is something we should probably
Yeah.
mention, that if they find needles,
touch it.
don't pick it up, report it.
Yeah.
And so that would probably be in their safety briefing. So typically what happens is our office assistant, Zebby Zamora, handles this program.
Okay.
And if there's a group that shows interest, they would complete the form, sign the hold harmless agreements, and then there's a safety briefing in advance.
Okay.
And that would probably be a part of the safety briefing, but we should probably update that in our trail safety recommendations or safety guidelines.
Yeah, just because you just never know, right? I mean, when I've done cleanups before, I've told people, if you see them, you stop, you call me, we'll send an officer to pick it up, or, you know, just. It's right in there with animal carcasses, you know,
Yes, all of that.
hazard. Okay.
Thank you for pointing that out. That's a
Of
good
course.
comment.
I think it looks good.
Could we go back up to the last, the last screen we had up here of what Leah was asking us to review? Is it too late for that? So Leah, other cities around us, I know Wildemar has a cleanup organization that works completely separate from the city,
Oh, that's interesting.
that works both in their parks and on the streets. And does Temecula do something like this, or do we know?
I believe Temecula has a cleanup program as well. I think they do an annual cleanup. And I believe our Assistant City Manager, Kristen Crane, would also like to be able to offer that type of opportunity for the community and civic engagement as well. And I know she's working towards that. And I believe it might actually be under discussion when council gets together and evaluates their programs and puts them in priorities and tiers. So that, I believe that might be after the first of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, Hemet does a pretty robust program. Hemet Beautiful, and it's hundreds and hundreds of people come out that day. Well,
That's our goal. Yeah.
Because I think you and I have talked over a couple of times, and probably been years, part of the problem in starting something like this is you got to staff this stuff. Yeah, and it can't do it all the time, can't do everything all at once.
No.
Yeah. So as far as tracking is concerned, I think much like everything else that we get as far as numbers is probably we'd like to see a fairly regular report on how many people are or have signed up, any problems that have occurred, any changes in the program as we kind of go along and learn as we go. You think of anything else?
Let it become an evolving process.
Right.
That way,
Yeah.
sure.
So just as a note for the commissioners, in January, we're going to provide a year-end comparison from when we've started tracking our analytics. So you'll see a comparison from year to year on volunteers and how many cleanups we've had, as well as comparison of pool attendance. What Victor had showed you was just a snippet. We have a whole list of analytics. So we're going to review all of that with you. Senior center attendance, youth center attendance, estimated special event attendance, things like that.
And one last little thing, this is kind of near and dear to my heart just because of a new role I've taken on, but do you have a plan, for example, say a middle school group goes out and they clean something up, right? I think it would be really fun, and this is just a suggestion, that if they were to take selfies and fun pictures that day and then send them into you guys, or have a QR code, or you know what I mean?
Yes.
Something where they can just drop the photos in and to appropriately thank them, because I feel like that's for a lot of agencies, that's the missing piece. You can't keep them coming back if you don't say thank you or make them feel special, you know? So just that one little thing. So I don't know if that's in the plan, or
We've done that on two occasions, but it was organic. It wasn't like part of the program.
Yeah.
It just naturally came up that way. So to add it to formalize it, to put it part of the program, that's a good suggestion as well. We can do that.
Just because you want them to feel special for the day, because they don't have to do that. So I don't know. Plus, it encourages, then it hits social media, and then, oh, look what this middle school did, or you know what I mean? And you could even make a competition out of it if you wanted. I mean, you could go crazy. So.
Yes. So I have those two suggestions.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
I've seen the need just from strictly, it's almost like you're getting help here to, instead of spending city money, you're getting other people to help to some extent.
Yeah.
Are you seeing, have there been requests from the community to involve themselves like this?
Oh, that's why we started.
Okay.
We kind of codified this, made it more structured, because we are getting so many requests from various school groups and civic organizations who want to do this. And this way we can say, well, here's the packet, here's what you need to do, turn it back in, safety brief, here are your trash bags, there you go. And so it's all kind of lined out for everybody.
Will these students get hours for it?
Yes, they will. If they bring their forms in to sign, 100%.
Perfect.
Okay. And the requirement of an adult to be out with minors, is that adult a parent or any adult that is kind of with the group?
So it would depend on the organization coming out. So if it's the school classroom, yes, it'll be the instructor and an aide, and usually the parents who volunteer to come out. And they would have that ratio of, typically it's for this age group, it would be around 6 to 10 kids for every adult.
Okay.
And I love how you gave them a list of stuff to just check. That way they can't go off. You know what I mean? Because that's always been historically honestly, the biggest challenge. What do we have people do, right?
Yes.
They can't do damage, but they can really help and make an impact.
That's what we're hoping,
Yeah, I love
hoping
that.
for with this.
That's good.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
all right. That concludes the admin updates. We're on to consent calendar now.
I'm sorry, next is public comments.
Oh, I apologize. I did not look at my agenda. Public comments.
At this time, Leon, we will take public comments. Any person may address the Parks and Recreation Commission on any subject pertaining to city business which does not relate to any item listed on the agenda. Normally, no action may be considered or taken by the Parks and Recreation Commission on any matter not on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Madam Secretary, do we have any non-agenda public comments?
Thank you, Chair. There are no non-agenda public comments.
Okay. Then we will move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the governing bodies and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. There will be no discussion of these items unless before the governing body votes on the motion to adopt, specific items are removed from the consent calendar for separate motions. The minutes are part of the consent calendar. The recreation activities and events report, and the parks projects and maintenance report. The recommendations are to receive and file these. Are there any items that the commission would like to pull from the consent calendar?
No.
No? If none, commissioners using the touchpads, please make a motion and a second to adopt the consent calendar. We have a motion and a second. Commissioners, please vote.
Motion carries unanimously, 3-0.
Okay. So next are items for discussion. Item 1 is to...
Oh, go ahead. I
No.
apologize.
No, you take it from here?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to reinvite Recreation Supervisor Victor Patino and Park Ranger Melissa Price back up to the dais to discuss our draft Park Ranger Manual. Melissa? Aren't you here? Melissa? Oh, my bad.
Can I borrow that?
Yes. I apologize. Melissa needed to go back out into the field.
Yes. For reference, you do have the Ranger Manual draft in your agenda report. Alrighty. Well, good evening again, Parks and Rec Commission. I'm here to provide a brief overview of our new Parks Ranger Manual, a document developed to standardize operations, improve consistency, and enhance safety across Murrieta parks and facilities. The manual represents months of collaboration between community services, park ranger personnel, adding elements from municipal services and Murrieta PD, all with one shared goal: ensuring our parks remain safe, welcoming, and well-maintained for everyone in our community. The primary purpose of this manual is to serve as a working reference guide for all park rangers and supervisors. It clearly outlines roles and expectations and procedures, from daily patrol duties to incident reports, municipal code enforcement, and emergency responses. This document brings structure and accountability to the program, ensuring that all rangers follow the same professional and safety standards, regardless of shift or location. Key components of the Ranger Manual, daily patrols and enforcement protocols, procedures, clear steps for maintaining park safety, enforcing municipal codes, and documenting violations. Incident reporting, standardized forms and timelines to improve communication and coordination with risk management, maintenance, and PD. Uniform vehicle and equipment standards, professional appearance, and operational readiness requirements. Public interaction and customer service, reinforcing that rangers are not just enforcement staff, but ambassadors for the city. Training and evaluation, a structured onboarding and certification process, ensuring all staff meets safety and compliance standards. Why is this important? Strengthening public safety and trust through standard enforcement practices is important. Enhances communication between community services, municipal services, and Murrieta PD. And it ensures that we have an alignment with city policies and municipal codes. Supports training and development, setting clear performance and expectations for staff. And then, just in conclusion, this park ranger manual is a fundamental tool to professionalize the program, promote safety, and strengthen our public trust. And is how we manage our parks. Your feedback tonight would be instrumental in finalizing this document before it moves forward for a final draft. And we are open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
Of course.
Any questions or comments? Yeah, just a couple quick ones. Victor, before this is finalized, just run it through spell check again.
Did I spell something wrong?
The word speak is misspelled, but I'm trying to find it. Maybe it's already been correct.
Is it in here?
In the Ranger.
In the Ranger manual? Mm-hmm. Or am I selected?
No, Ranger manual.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I know I did have some hiccups in my slide yesterday, so. Okay, we'll double check the spelling.
On the whole, though, I think it's very well done.
Thank you.
The other question is relates to expectations in terms of patrols during a shift. Is there somewhere where we document that's given to the rangers so they know what our expectations?
Yeah, it should be in the Ranger manual. I mean, I will say a lot of this will be generalized. Like patrolling in itself tends to be, unique depending on the season or the variety of violent vandalism that sometimes they choose to commit. So there will be some generalized, documentations, how we're doing right now at Cal Oaks. We have a log of check-in, check-out, check-in restrooms, and we have that log. But and since, yes, there'll be some sense of standardized documentation. Yep.
Victor, these park rangers, in the parks after dark, have we had some incidences where they felt threatened or there have been issues?
Not recently.
Not so late. Okay.
But there a few years ago, there was a kind of a quasi-gang coming down from Menifee that had given our rangers some angst, but it was easy
to
resolve.
Recently.
They have the radios. They directly communicate with PD immediately.
Okay.
I think it looks thorough. I think it looks really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Victor.
Page 12.
Oh, thank you.
What do you want?
12.
Well, sorry, what was the portion?
Speak. It was speak.
Speak clearly and concisely.
On page 12.
These are not numbered.
Oh, it says spec. Because spec's a word. Spell check did not catch that.
Well, we'll
So-
run it 4 more times to make
Yeah.
sure we catch everything.
Okay, thank you for catching that.
Spec clearly.
Maybe you should check it, because we missed everything.
Professor Colopy.
There's always one.
Yeah.
For me, it was always from and form.
Form, yes.
That's mine for years.
Did we get a copy of this
Yeah.
Yes, it's in the agenda.
in the email?
I've also heard the trick is to read it backwards. I know that seems silly, but I've heard that if you read backwards,
How
you'll
many times have you read it backwards?
0. But I don't get paid to read backwards. But I've heard that it helps you find like
Yeah.
words like that because it.
I'll
doesn't
definitely
make
try
s-
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looks like the English language is difficult for me right now, so.
I wonder if you threw it in ChatGPT, if ChatGPT would catch those types of misuse of words, sort of. Yeah.
Just turn 15 pages into 30.
Right?
We could definitely do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Don't forget that. We ready to move on? Okay. Next, I would like to invite our management analyst, Crystal Aurora, up. And together, she and I are going to provide you with a very high-level report out on our CSD operating and capital improvement plan budgets and formation, because there's been a lot of changes in our department, and we want to provide the commission with an idea of where we're at funding-wise, budget-wise, and so on, because there has been a lot of movement. So good evening once again. This presentation provides a highlight of the CSD, its formation, its history, and funding. So Murrieta officially incorporated, the city of Murrieta officially incorporated on July 1st, 1991. However, the Community Services, or CSD, remained under county control until 1993. Then on July 1st, 1993, the CSD became a city-operated department following a formal reorganization approved by Riverside County Board of Supervisors. The CSD inherited its funding from County Service Area 143, the original funding structure, which had established landscape maintenance zones funded by parcel assessments. Each zone paid for its own amenities, parks, slopes, lighting, and so on, while general administration was funded by a shared lot fee across all properties. Then Proposition 218 was passed by California voters in 1996, required that property-based assessments be reapproved by a majority vote of the affected property owners. The city conducted individual zone elections to validate or discontinue the funding for each landscape zone. At the time, zones A through I all were approved with the exception of Zone G, which is for the downtown area. To preserve citywide services, parks, recreation, and lighting, the city proposed Measure CC, a 4.2% utility tax, but it was defeated in June 1997, triggering some significant cuts at the time. The consequences of Measure CC's failure led to the layoff of 13 staff, both maintenance and recreation personnel, the draining of the community pool, the cancellation of recreation programs and events, and reduced park maintenance and lighting. However, there was a new lifeline. Measure WW went on the ballot in spring of 1997. And it was passed as a special parcel tax to fund parks and recreation facilities, recreation and community service programs, median and street landscaping. The tax was set at $45 per residential dwelling unit with varying rates for commercial and vacant parcels. Oops, let me go back. The tax, I want to note, does not have an inflator tied to it. It's not tied to the consumer price index, meaning that the $45 rate remains unchanged since 1997, despite rising costs. So our key takeaways, the CSD's funding model is multifaceted with zone-specific assessments and a citywide flat tax. Measure WW remains the primary funding source for citywide services, but its purchasing power has eroded over time and supplemental support is needed from our city's general fund and other budgets that Crystal will get into here shortly. While the historical funding story is essential, it's equally important to understand how CSD's budget is structured today. Since 2018, parks maintenance has gradually transitioned out of recreation and into the department now known as municipal services. That process was interrupted by COVID, but we're steadily progressing. It's nearly complete. And to walk us through the current budget organization and what that means for recreation and maintenance, I'd like to welcome our management analyst, Crystal Aurora.
Good evening, commissioners. Let's get to the next slide here. So, as Leah mentioned, on the split between our now municipal services maintenance department and recreation, recreation now no longer oversees the exempt budget. 3 of the MSD maintenance budgets, 30 landscape lighting district budgets, and 8 local zone budgets. So if you were using your fingers and toes, you ran out of space because that is 42 budgets that we no longer oversee. And we are now down to 3. So our special events budget, which is 1105000, has not changed too much. It's the primary budget for the annual events such as Veterans Day Parade, Festival of Trees, and concerts in the park, to name a few. This also partially funds the citywide holiday decorating contract, specifically in Town Square Park, and any expenses incurred from signature events or other event-related partnerships. Our homeless budget is primarily comprised of our contracts with outreach and shelter services, as well as encampment cleanups. You'll notice on the right that there is no salaries and benefits allocation for homeless services, and I'll touch base on that in a little bit. The revenue received is through the reimbursement from the City of Wildomar Memorandum of Understanding currently in place, where we provide 1.5 days of outreach and shelter services through our City of Murrieta contracts. Recreation, 1715144, funds pool activities, sports leagues, and all youth center, senior center, and community center events. This includes building maintenance costs, office, janitorial, and pool supplies, and a variety of other miscellaneous costs. This budget has seen the biggest impact with the split because it has absorbed most of the maintenance, contract, and training costs from our 1715120 support budget. Other budgets that we still have our hands in are that 1715120 support, grant funds, Measure T, and various budgets that may impact our CIP projects. This last budget cycle, staff did their best to separate all recreation versus MSD maintenance costs from support, but a few items stayed behind. Portions of different CSD staff salaries and benefits are also budgeted in support. Next budget cycle will finalize the transition of these items, and CSD will no longer be represented in the support budget. CSD receives grant rewards periodically, but the largest recipient of grants is our homeless program. We're currently receiving funds through the Encampment Resolution Funding Program and the Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Grant. The ERF grant funds 50% of our homeless service managers' salaries and benefits and 100% of the administrative assistant. Measure T supports various projects, but primarily is the funding source for some employee positions. We have 1 park ranger fully funded through Measure T and the remaining 50% of our homeless services manager. As has been mentioned, with the creation of the new Municipal Services Department, they will be the primary managers of most of the city's CIP projects moving forward. While there are still conversations being held regarding the exact cross-departmental approach for projects, CSD will be heavily involved in prioritizing projects and the budget process for each. Funding sources for CIP projects vary and can include general funds, LLDs and zones, development impact fees, and more. Budget allocation for those projects are determined by Finance and CSD, and they are accepted through council action. So that is kind of a very high view of our current budget status. So we're ready for any questions if you have any.
Chris?
No questions from you.
Anything from you? No? Okay. I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The final two reports are more or less housekeeping items. The next item on the agenda for discussion is that our regular commission meeting for January falls on New Year's Day. So staff recommends canceling the January 1st, 2026 meeting and consider an alternative date for a special meeting later in the month. The holiday observance would impact attendance among commissioners, staff, and the public, potentially leading to quorum issues and reduced participation. Rescheduling ensures that key discussions can proceed effectively without conflicting with holiday plans. The commission is invited to discuss potential dates that allow for necessary business to continue while accommodating schedules. So the next, like I mentioned, the next meeting falls on January 1st. We would kindly request not considering January 8th because the agenda would need to be out on January 2nd, and many of our staff have taken the preceding 2 weeks off. So
Why don't we go with the 15th?
I'm happy with the 15th if you are.
It's fine by me.
15th? Okay. That was easy. Oh my gosh. So, Madam Secretary, you have that date? Thank you. We will send out a notification to let the full board know that the regular meeting for January 1st has been canceled and a special meeting will be called on January 15th.
Okay. Easy peasy.
Yes. Okay, and then the last item is, as always, our agenda forecast. This report aims to facilitate a productive discussion regarding the future topics of the Parks and Recreation Commission agenda. Would the commissioners like to modify, add, or delete any of the proposed topics to ensure relevance and timely updates?
Leah, this method of kind of putting the agenda together and letting us look at it's been a really nice way to handle this.
I'm glad it's convenient for everybody. I really am. It's definitely helped us out in terms of planning and giving proper notification to the staff that provide presentations to the commission.
Commissioners, do you have anything?
Still looks good to me.
Okay, I'm good with this.
Okay. That's good. Okay. I have no other reports this evening.
Commission member? Push the button. Commission member announcements is an opportunity for commissioners to provide miscellaneous reports and announcements. Commissioners, do we have anything? Chris?
No, happy holidays to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for all that you do. We don't say thank you often enough. And that, if you'd spread that amongst those who have come and gone.
Absolutely.
Back to you, Bob.
Okay. Anything from you?
As a lifetime recce, you guys rock. And then secondly, I can't wait for the parade because
Yes.
I don't have to work it. And third, you guys have a wonderful holiday season. And
Thank you.
thank you for the list of like all the upcoming stuff too. I really am hoping to get more engaged this year. December's not as crazy for me that I know of yet, so.
Staff will be providing an update for the holiday events here probably after the parade.
Yeah.
To remind all of you about the Donuts with Santa, Festival of Trees. If there is any wish to participate in the judging of the Festival of Trees, that information will be provided to you as well. The Santa visits, that is up on a special website, should you wish to volunteer for that. But we will provide you with an update on all the holiday activities probably after the parade.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate everyone. Job you do. Brian's left. He scooted out on us, didn't he?
No, he just.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then with no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 7:28.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, everyone.